let's add some further challenge to our game. So we've given our character the ability to jump. At the moment, we're not going to be able to jump across this void because this is too high. Now I'll show you a potential solution to that in a minute. Let's just add some baddies along here. So I'm going to click on my object tool. Let's have a look. Anything there? Not really suitable. Let's have a look here. The cannon. So let's just have a look at the cannon. Right click on him and rotate him to make sure that he's facing the right way, because what we want him to do is shoot across the path so that we have to jump whatever he chooses to shoot. So I'm going to move him slightly to the left, sit him there. Now we need to program our cannon. So right click on him, program. Now I'm going to use the always command there. Always do what? Well, I want him to shoot, and I want him to shoot blips. Escape, press play, let's see if that works. Perfect. Once we think that's correct for that particular cannon, let's move him slightly to the left. It's still a bit difficult. Make sure he's actually sat on the ground. We can, of course, right click, copy, and paste further cannons to other parts of the world. To make the game even more tricky. Let's have one here as well. Let's just play the game. You can see already that that's working. Excellent. Now whenever we've got anything shooting something, we need to change the settings slightly of our main character to show his health bar. Because what we want to happen, we want to be driving across here, hopefully jump the cannon's blips, but if we are hit, we want our health bar to diminish. So I need to right click on my character, change the settings, scroll down. I need to show hit points, but I also need to make it a bit more fair by allowing my character to be hit several more times before he dies. So let's play the game there. You can see his hit points. I'm going to deliberately this time be hit by the cannon. Can you see my hit points decreasing? And I've gone. So we've added cannons as baddies which fire blips that you have to jump. I've added some water hazards there. Changed the colour to black to make them a bit more obvious, to match the background. We need to think about coding our main character now so that if he comes into contact with that black water, that again he loses some life force. So let's right click on him and program him. Scroll down to the bottom. So when, go to more, when he touches water, particular type, so if we go to types, it's already picked up that we've used the black water. Now under game we could have that he loses, let's have him losing some points. Subtract, well how many do we want to subtract? Let's subtract 20 points. So let's just test that by clicking play. So you can see the counter, the timer's counting up. I've got 10, I've got 20, I've got 60 points. problem. This is a good example of when to debug. So there's a problem there that as long as I'm touching that black water, in that case I stopped right in front of it, I'm losing point after point after point. So let's go back into the programming. When on water, when on the black water, subtract 20 points once. Let's test that to see if that works. Okay, so I've got 60 points currently. If I get near the water, it's turned to 40. So what I actually need to do is, when I can, try and jump that. Perfect. Now I've got two other examples of that black water further on. Let's have another type of obstacle now. So we've got cannons which fire. I'm going to put a baddie. There's some more water there, look. I'm going to put a baddie up here somewhere. So let's click on my object tool. Let's have a look at the options. Let's go for, why not? There's water on the world, let's go for a flying fish. The first thing we need to do is make sure that flying fish is positioned correctly. So we need to right click on him, rotate so that he's facing the right way. Let's just use the hand tool, rotate the world to check that he's in the middle. Could do with moving slightly over. Perfect. Now what I want to happen, I want that fish to move on a path backwards and forwards, and if we come into contact with the fish we lose health. Click on the path tool. And draw. Let's draw a slightly zigzag kind of rounded path. Let's come out of there. So we need to program this fish to move on this path now. So let's right click on him, program. So we've used the always command before. So always, what? Well, let's always move on that path. But we also need to tell the fish that when he bumps into our main cycle character, under combat, that it damages. Now we have to be specific here about what is being damaged. We want us to be damaged. Now we're coding the fish, remember, here. So damage it being the cycle. So we've coded that fish to move up and down that path. We could replicate that further along, draw another path further down the course, copy and paste that fish, and the fish will do exactly the same thing. So currently then, if you remember, I've deliberately created this land too high for our character to jump. We've limited our character to jumping quite low deliberately. So we need to think about how we can enable our character to get from here to here. The same would be true if you had a gap that was too long. Couple of options. I'm going to use another character to act as a trampoline to catapult our cycle up and over, give him some extra height to allow him to reach the coins here. It's called the drum bot. Okay. Now by default he's placed like this. We need to do some manoeuvring. So the first thing we need to do is change his size, maybe make him a little bit smaller. But we also need to change his height, because currently he's floating too high. And we also need to rotate. So let's rotate. Now it's important that if he's angled this way, he's going to catapult our character forwards here. And all you need to do is your main character, is to do a jump, land on him, and he should catapult you up to here. Let's see if that works by pressing play. And let's just move forward. Let's jump. Let's jump. Let's jump. And there we go. It's catapulted us up. And we've managed to land on that piece of ground there. Perfect. Works perfectly. Now because he catapults us so high, we could actually put some coins in the air a lot higher than these so that they're collected as he comes down. So maybe have a bit of a play with that.